Morning, Bridget. Right, straight into it. First lesson of the day. Today we are looking at state teachers. I feel like I ought to apologise because I feel like we should have been looking at them about 6 videos ago. And that's not because they were overlooked. It's because we were trying to wade our way through the impact of what this move was going to have. And you didn't do an impact assessment, so we've had to do it ourselves. And there's been so much to digest that it's taken a little while to really focus on the points that need focusing on. And this should be right at the top. So, Bridget, we've got state schools filled with state teachers who are leaving. They are burning out. Some of them from the stories that I've been reading, and I've been overwhelmed with the amount of people that have shared their story with me personally to my inbox and on the forums and stuff. I hear stories of PTSD from being a teacher, from teachers being attacked, from teachers being so burnt out with their 50-hour weeks that their own families are breaking apart because there is no time for them. I'm hearing about teachers who have worked for 30 years and can no longer do it because they just feel that the pressure is going to put them in an early grave. So it's not nice. I mean, you can't dress it up in any way. And I think not nice is doing it a massive disservice, but I'm going to try and keep it together for this. Last night I did not keep it together so much. So we've got a group of amazing individuals who have decided to follow a vocation to teach children, to inspire children, to give children dreams and aspirations, to help them achieve those dreams and aspirations, yet they're in a system that is so broken that they can't see the wood for the trees. Now, you're initially going to say, well, it was the Tories' fault. Fine, blame them. I don't care. Blame whom you like. We are where we are. We are in this situation. And you have to take ownership for what you're doing. So you have to take ownership for your VAT policy, which is moving from the government projections, 24,000 kids by 27 to 28 into state. Now we know that that's not the actual number, but because 85 local authorities haven't given their figures and there's a little bit of murkiness around the figures, which we'll come to another time, I don't think there's much transparency, but we know factually that 5,511 children are moving from state and will be in, or moving to state and will be in their new classrooms from January. So these teachers have already got that in the first term of this policy being imposed, and it's not even been imposed yet. It's coming in January, but we're seeing live updates every day as children move. So the state teachers who are under the most horrendous strain and pressure are now under more horrendous strain and pressure. And because they are clever and curious and insightful and passionate, they've also been doing the maths because they teach children to show the workings out. They teach children that in your GCSEs and your A levels, every test you do, if you show your workings out, you get extra marks for it. I mean, it's how we do this stuff. So they've done the workings out and they haven't got any points for it. They've got no extra points. They've got extra kids for it. And they've worked out that your policy doesn't work. And they've worked out that when you said that there would be 6,500 new teachers, there won't be 6,500 new teachers. And if you ask the state system, they'll tell you how many are actually leaving. So you could have a hole of 3,000 teachers that are leaving because of this policy. So if we go with your figures of 6,500, that's actually only 3,500, isn't it? Because we've lost 3,000 in the process. Now, you've spoken about the magic figure that is 3,000, which is what your projections for an entire year would be of children moving from private to state. So let's stick with your magic number. That's 3,000 children coming in, 3,000 teachers going out. We can put that on the workings. And that is just an estimate. That's me using it as an example. But what I'm saying to you is you're losing teachers as fast as you're putting teaching assistants in. This is not bringing standards up. This is not helping anyone. This is disadvantaging everyone. This is disadvantaging children. This was my child picture. It's not a very good stick man. There's a better one. You're disadvantaging children. You're disadvantaging teachers. You're disadvantaging dinner ladies. You're disadvantaging admin staff. you're disadvantaging head teachers. I mean, look, you can see what we're doing. We're filling the board full of people. There's a lot of people that will be disadvantaged from this. And by disadvantaged, I mean they may lose their job. They may have to move their child from the private school into the state school. The child in the state school may have to share their class with an extra 5 students, which takes away more resources from them. The teacher in the private school may lose their job because they can no longer afford that many teachers, but the teacher in the state school may be so overwhelmed with children, but there is no money to buy any new qualified teachers in, so there's no help there. So you can see we're just going round and round. We're chipping bits off, but we're not putting anything back. So in their staff room, they're getting really angry and they're saying, you've sold us a dummy. And they say, I do not accept it, which is ironic. So what we've got to do is get to a bit where you start listening, because at the minute we've heard these arguments over and over and over, and it's a bit like a broken record. But now what we're seeing is real lives. So before we were hypothesizing a little bit, we were sort of guesstimating, but now we're actually seeing the reality of what this policy is doing, because children are moving and teachers are being more overwhelmed, and there is massive economic insecurity over the country anyway. I mean, we've got the farmers, we've got the pensioners, now we've got the retail sector. That was in the morning news, that they're writing to your mate Kia to say they've got to find 7 billion out of nowhere to try and keep the retail sector afloat. Good luck with that. Maybe you could tax, I don't know, what else could you tax? Shops. So we know that VAT doesn't work, and we know that the state teachers are really angry about it. We know that the private teachers are really angry about it. We know that all the children, all the parents, everybody's really angry about it. There's not one person that comes into contact with education, apart from a small percentage of ideologists that believe with you. And, you know, fair dues, everyone's allowed their own thoughts, and if that small percentage want to be with you, that's fine. But we're now talking a majority, and you like majority because you said it. You made this policy for the majority. But you probably didn't realise that that majority would soon be made up of both sectors, because now it's including everyone apart from the tiny little percentage that just are doing this because it's political point scoring. But we're not political point scoring. We're looking at protecting children, teachers, educational institutions, and we're protecting education. We're protecting the very thing that we're trying to tax. So you need to go to the staff rooms of the state schools, then you need to go to the staff rooms of the private schools, and you need to listen to what they want. You need to listen to what they want to achieve in terms of reform. And then you need to work out how much that's going to cost. And you can probably get yourself a think tank of economists that will help you do that. Please get independent ones this time though, Bridget. Please don't get your mate's mate, because that's not independent, is it? And let's just amalgamate these learned people that work in the sector. I mean, get my son's doing A-level economics. Get them. You can get them. You listen to the people that work in the sector that this affects. Listen to the parents on both sides. Listen to the children on both sides, and formulate a plan that does not involve taxing education. We don't want any more double taxations. They're not a thing, or triple taxations as they're turning into. We discussed that was unpalatable. Let's go back to the drawing board. Here are my workings out. Take a screenshot of that. I keep updating them. We've still got more to talk about, so there will be more to see. And for those that are loving Hangman, today's thoughts of what we think of the VAT policy, you can see the letters that we've used, you can see the letters that we've got. I'll give you a minute to have a look at that. I got my mum's permission because it was a bit rude. I'll leave you with that. Have a good day.